Yes, Michaela, just Coach had talked about this is when you guys build a relationship as a team. You know, the newcomers, freshman-wise, transfer-wise, obviously the veterans like yourself. How important is this fall season to get the results that you guys want for the spring?
Absolutely. I mean, fall ball is always super important. I think, like, with the newcomers and the transfers that we have coming in, it's always nice to get true live reps. When you're playing against your own team, it's always a little bit different because you know exactly what they're bringing to the table. But the featuring of the unknown and realizing again, like, what can we do as Florida State softball to compete to our standard and our level when facing against these other teams that we're going to be playing during the fall. We'll just level up our game and prepare us for the fall. Or not for the fall, for the spring. There we go. My mind's like, wait a minute.
Working with some of these transfers, especially with the pitching transfers, you know, how has that been so far? Obviously limited action, but what are you looking for?
Yeah, Annabelle and Julia have both been amazing so far. They've really bought into the program and have sat down with both of them, had lunch, have been around each other's pools. Like, I think connectivity-wise, we're already seeing that, and it's starting to show out on the bullpens right now. And I know some of the other pitchers, like Ash, coming in from last year, had quite a few innings as a freshman, and she's taking that year and taking it, you know, trying to transition from the freshman, the newbie, into a sophomore with some experience. And I think from all levels, we're going to be seeing the pitching circle work together as a unit. I think Coach always prides herself with utilizing everyone in our roster, and I'm super excited to see what it's going to look like in the circle this year.
For catchers specifically, how important is this time of year to learn the pitchers that you're working with, both how they work and what they're throwing?
Oh, it's always big. You got to know their favorite color. You got to know their favorite food. You got to be able to know what they're like as a person and being able to digest all of that information. I say all the time it's like speed dating, but it's that and some, because the more you get to know someone as a human being off the field, the more you can bring that relationship and connectivity on the field, and the easier it is to reset them. And to some people, like, you play high softball, like a high level softball for years now, and then you finally come to Florida State and you get the ability to put on, you know, the garden gold jersey, and that itself is an amazing feat, right? But I think we start to put so much pressure on ourselves because of that, and at the end of the day, it's like, how can I reset my pitcher? How can I get the most out of them? How can I make them happy, not only as a pitcher but as a person? And I think that connectivity wise, I actually just had lunch with Jazzy, one of our freshman pitchers, and you know, I have to be vulnerable with her for her to be vulnerable with me. And I think it's as simple as like having a hi, how are you conversation every day and just checking in on that. And I'm super excited. I think, like, Bella too, being a freshman catcher coming through, she texts me all sorts of questions. What time do I have to do this? What does this mean? What does that mean? And I'm happy I can be there to provide her the answers, because 4 years ago I was that freshman and I had Anna Shona, and I bothered her with every question in the book, and I would do it all over again, knowing that this program always gives back, and it's whatever I can do in my control to help build up the other players, and I'm super excited to see what it's going to look like.